Good morning. So today I want to assemble this Nutcracker Folio that's available on the Etsy shop called TheDoddGroup. Look for the little stylish man logo. It will have instructions that are basic because there are several different folios on that Etsy shop, and they all have the same assembly. So there's just one instruction, but if you purchase the folio kit, any of the folio kits, you'll get the same instructions. Had some really fun with Halloween that we just had. This crow folio. It doesn't have to be Halloween, but this is the type of setup that we're going to be doing today. And I used this eyelash. I don't like that. I've determined I don't like it. There's also another folio on there. There's several different themes. So we're going to be working on, oh, there's another Christmas one too, or winter. And I tried to use the blue ink that I had when I was assembling this, which was Mermaid Lagoon, which was not a good color. So I tried going over it with some vintage photo. Doesn't look any better, but this was just for me as a prototype. Okay, so here is my prototype. I've assembled, or I've printed it on just copy paper. It makes it real flimsy, but this is just so that I can see how everything lines up. So this is what we're going to be making today. All right, so let's get in with the instructions. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is the pieces that are labeled 1A, B, C. So let's find those. 1C, 1A, and that's a 3. Here we go. 1B. When you're cutting them out, even though these pieces are labeled on the flange, I'm just going to refer to that as a flange. Even though they're labeled on the flange, I would recommend still writing it, because this is going to eventually get covered up during your assembly, and you're not going to be able to know which piece is which in the instructions. It's not going to show through. This is just printed on regular cardstock. I would recommend, and it does so in the instructions, inking your gusset area. And the gusset area is described in the instructions. For this one, I used Spun Sugar, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. It doesn't have to be distressed. That's just the one that I had. Worn lipstick might work. I don't have that one, but any nice shade of pink I think would look good. And you can use it to cover the white edges too. I didn't for this purpose. So we have, okay, it says to lay out your pieces with 1B, the white side up. Okay, so there's 1B. And I'm going to work next with 1A. So this is 1A. Put everything white side up. I'm going to get a protective layer for my table, which is my big U-line book. So last you a while, and then they'll send another one, so that's good. So let's see here. I have I'm gonna try to go through it just like the instructions say. So you have everything printed. All right, step 2, create the base. lay pieces 1A, B, C on your workspace, printed side down, white side facing up. And make sure you have the tops oriented to the top. That's the top. And this is the top. All right, so I'm going to turn it this way so that I can see. So you're going to take your score line closest to the flange, and butt it against the edge of your panel 1B, which will be your back panel. And this is where you're going to put your glue. So you're wanting to leave that gusset open. And this is just about the most difficult part of the process, is keeping these aligned. It's really pretty quick to cut out. You can do it watching TV. Okay, so I have the glue on there. I really need a black piece of paper. Fold and smush. So that leaves your gusset open. There's your gusset. All right. Now we're going to take your 1C, fold that on the line that you have scored closest to your flange. Get that folded. Butt this up against your B, or yeah, your B for back panel. And I'm just using art glitter glue. Everybody's got it. I'm going to do a video soon of my favorite tools for junk journaling, and this is going to be one of them. Of course, if you're like me, you can get really caked up with it. Okay, smush. Okay, so this is our folio base for the Nutcracker. That was step 2. So for step 3, keep the base white side up on your workspace. Okay. Position pieces 2A and 2B. Oh, let's find those. And they are these little wings. Okay. Let's work with 2A first. Position pieces 2A and 2B so that the score line you made closest to the flange will lay on top of the score line made closest to the flange on piece 1A and C of the base. And here's an image. So we will just fold that also, leaving the gusset open. Now this you could glue at the very bottom. And then when you have your folio, this will be down here. You could do it kind of in the middle. I kind of like it a little up from the bottom because you will have some cards in here. And you want to make sure that you don't make it where the cards stick out. So if you put it up here and you intended for this one of the shorter cards to fit in there, it's gonna pop out the top. So I just kind of go down here. That looks good. because you will have some pockets down here that will have some bulk. So this just kind of spreads it out a little bit. Okay, so we have not glued that down yet. Just kind of keep it straight, because this will have a cover, a panel that's glued on top of it. Oops. All right, here we go. And then I'm going to, since I want them sort of the same height, this is panel 2B. I want to try to line it up like this so that they will be the same. So I'm going to hold this down, pull this back out, fold this over. I'm right-handed. I wish I were, what is the word, ambidextrous? Okay, so we're just gonna glue this down. Then I'm going to, you have some decisions you can make when you're putting together this folio. You can glue this completely shut, or you can leave it as a pocket. I'm going to leave it as a pocket, so I'm just going to glue it down. This folded piece here on this side and this side, leaving the pocket open. Since this is a seam, we don't have to glue it. I'm not going to glue too close to the gusset. I want to just give a little space. This glue spreads really well. And of course, we've also inked this gusset, and that will become apparent later as to why we did that. Just match up your edges and smush. There we go. Super cute. All right, so this one also, I'm going to glue almost to the gusset and then down along the bottom. We don't have to glue where the seam is, of course. And try to get the pin back in the glue. Just match up your bottom edge there, and that should be good. All right, so there we have our little interior wings. And I cut this out really quickly. I didn't. Sometimes you can see the black line and sometimes you can't. Okay, now we're ready to move on to step 5. Keep your base white side up, lay piece 3A with the white side down. Oh, excuse me, 1A. This is my base. This piece, 3A, may be slightly larger than 1A, and mine is. So I need to make a determination on which side I'm going to trim. And since this has the pretty curtains here, I'm going to trim off a little on the opposite side right here. So I'm going to make them up a little bit, and you can leave it and just do it like this and later trim that off. You'll lose some curtains, but there's plenty of curtains. So I'm going to try, let's do it like this. And just lay it right up against that. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay. in my light. All right. I have got this sort of straight. Let's move the top piece. How about that? Okay. There we go. So that tells me how much I need to trim off. And if they don't match up when you're done, you can, when the glue's all dry, trim up what you need to. Okay, so I'm going to get my little, I like this really old school trimmer because it has a wire, goes down, and I can see exactly where I want to cut. All right, that's done. Just lay your 1A down. You know that this is the top. All right, yep. You don't want to do that. So just lay it down. And now match up this far edge. Right here. And the easiest way I have found to glue this down is to hold it down, get your glue. This is my little needle or glue pin holder. How old school is that, where I don't lose my pin. Lift up one side, put some glue down, smush. Now you're going to lift this piece up just a little bit. You just really have to glue the edges. You can do a little of this if you want. And just keep working it. If anything smushes out, which I haven't this time, thank goodness, just wipe it up. That's pretty close. Now we're going to do our panel C. Where did I put panel C? Goes on C. Same thing. Let's see if we are the same size. We're just not. And I want to take off this part. So I'm going to just put it right under there. Match up my gusset. Make my light work for me. There we go. If you take too much, you're just going to see more of this pink. That's no problem. Set this aside. There are, like I said, several folios of this same type of construction on the TheDoddGroup on Etsy. And once you get going, get the hang of it, you just zip right through them. Okay, so we're gonna, we know that this is the top. This. In anything that hangs over on this edge, which you don't want. So match it up. basically look at your corners here. There you go. There you go. All right, so let's, like I said, the easiest way to lift a corner, put down some glue. You don't have to go exactly to the edge because this glue will smear out. Give it a little help. I love the Nutcracker. I always have. I've not seen a live performance. Don't live too far from Nashville, and of course they have all the Christmas events you could hope for out there. But they do have a ballet performance of the Nutcracker. I'd love to take my little granddaughter out there to see that. All right. Thumbs up if you like Nashville. All right, here we go. Got a little fuzz. All right, so we're looking for a B panel. And that's the way they are in layers. Base layer 1, wings, layer B, top layer, layer 1 base, layer 2 wings, layer 3. This piece will fit right in there. Same thing. Don't cover your gussets. If you have cut it out and you determine, yeah, that's going to cover the gusset, just trim. The design is far enough away from the edge where you can just trim it. But I am good here. So let's do it. And then we can get on to the tags. This panel is also, you could create a very large pocket here if you had like a little thin, emphasis on thin, booklet or something you wanted to put in there. Okay. Wow, how about that? Okay, let's take a look at the base. All right. All right, there's our little characters. Then you've got a pocket that goes here. You can choose to not put the pockets in. Maybe a picture from your event, if this is to commemorate an event, a Christmas event. Excuse me. Then that opens. Then you've got your little pockets here. And I have not cut these out. This is also part of the kit, as well as some little word tiles, different shapes and sizes that are included that you could write something or add a saying of some kind and put those in different places, but we'll work on this right here. So when I cut out crazy tags like this, I like to just do the bottoms, and then we're gonna match the bottoms up and fold it, hopefully. And, oh, my nails, don't even look at my nails. Crafter nails. And then I'm gonna cut out And I don't like the black line. That's just a good place to, when you have to have an outline of some kind, right? But it'll be fine. So I try to cut, but at least if you've already folded it, then you don't have to match it up again and cut again. Okay. So where, Lisa, do you put this? Okay. So I've seen some people do it as openings, little handles for their pockets, or let's see here. It's a really smart looking blank card included with the kit. You can put it on there and have it in your pocket. Put a little eyelet through there and some ribbon. That would be cute. So you could put it right here as well. But I'm going to try to remove some more of this black and put it on that card there. And then you can ink it with the spun sugar or vintage photo. Okay. Let's put our base to the side here. And we'll just glue this. Got a little spun sugar. That color really goes very well. Spun sugar. Okay, so enough about you. Let's glue to the top of this card. And there are also included in the kit 3 pages of card backside that you can print on the backs of your cards. I like that. All right, so we've just glued a little here. Match that up. Oop, get it in the middle. So, kind of, sort of. All right. So let's go ahead. Here's the crocodile. One of the most feared tools in the scrapbooking industry, and it shouldn't be. I bought it, and then I didn't use it, and then I had to watch some YouTube videos, and now I'm using it. Okay, so these are We Are Memory Keepers, I think 3/16 eyelets. Right here, this one is. So what settings do you use? Of course, when you're going to make your hole, you put it on the 3/16, and that will make the larger hole that you can see right there. So let's get towards the center, and let's do a little, where's my pencil? Do a little cheat. That's about where I want it. Do the hole, sort of. Switch it back to the end. Now, you want to use this wider. That fits right on there. You only have 2 options. The little one It's going to move around too much. So you don't want the little one. So you want the big one, which has a letter, if you can see it. You'd have to look at your own model. A. I believe that's A. Yes. And so the bottom, you want to use the flying saucer, otherwise known as the number 1. Okay. The flying saucer. Okay, so the easiest way, and this is going to be hard to show. Let me see if I can do it on the... Oops, I need to put my... Is when I'm putting it in, I feel for when this goes, the hole goes on the male piece. I kind of feel it. And then I hold it against that until I feel it hit the bottom. There you go. Easy peasy. So we'll put a little something in there. But we have some more tags here. Let's see. And we have some more tags that we can do with some grommets. But let's go back to our assembly. That was just a little diversion. Okay. Back to the assembly. What do we have left? Pockets. Okay. So, glue pockets, D and E to either side, the inside or the outside of 2. Remember, that's our kind of middle layer, A or B. The instructions say I prefer the inside. The pockets are interchangeable, so you can glue either one to either flap as it suits you. Okay, so what does that mean? We've got, what was that pocket? D and E. Okay, here's E. Looking for D. Okay, they're the smaller ones. Makes sense. Okay, so this has some nuts, walnut, and this has some. So these designs are too cute to cover, really. So I think I may just only use one. I don't even know if I want to cover that. But that's where you could put them if you wanted to glue them. But I think I'll just use these for some other project. Maybe in my next 'Twas the Night Before Christmas little golden book. So pocket C goes on panel C, which is over here. And we're not covering anything up over here. And look, it has what looks like a floor. Differentiation? I can't say it. Which we can match along here. And that will add some continuity. Oh, big words. First thing. Okay. So that would look cute glued down right there. So I'm gonna do a little bit of spun sugar. On the edges. Would you like to see people ink on videos? Oh, that looks good. Now, I don't know if you, oh, sorry, like I said, trouble with my hands. If you go over one color with, say, vintage photo, would you be, A, contaminating your second color applicator, and would you be smearing this up? I'm a purist, I guess. I'm gonna only do one color. All right, so let's match that up. These are really super cute and so easy to do. Whoops. It's so quick to cut out. And they will fit on a page in a journal. So you could actually just paste it down in a journal. All right. Match the floor, match the floor. Okay. Doesn't that look cute? All right, so we can go all the way around with that. Oh yeah, that spun sugar, so beautiful. All right, pocket A or B. Okay, this is where another decision could be made. This is a wider pocket and it goes on panel B, but in this particular folio, I love this whole piece right here. I don't want to cover that up, so I'm going to cut these flanges off and just make it an extra pocket. I've already printed it on the back. I'm going to just make it an extra pocket. That's just my choice. I don't want to cover this up. If you'd rather have this as a pocket here, it's a little too wide, so you would just modify it, cut it out a little differently, put it there. But I really like this pocket A. It's more in with the theme. It has the floor on the bottom, so that's what I'm going to use. This is where it was designed to go, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. A lot of people have been asking how my wrist and hand are doing since I had the, it's a tendon release surgery. I guess I'd had carpal tunnel done years ago on both wrists. This was another tendon that wasn't allowing me to do my rotation of my thumb. And then it got to where I couldn't do this. So if you're experiencing that, that's what that is. And I waited 6 months thinking, well, I'm going to let it heal on its own, and it didn't. And if you think you don't need a thumb, you really do need a thumb. It helps with holding your coffee cup, I found out. In February, I was going to fly to Florida to see my daughter and grandsons. And this is an old lady thing, I think. I shoved my arm through a really thick sweatshirt and caught my thumb inside the sleeve of the sweatshirt. I felt a strong, before I even got my hand out of my sweatshirt, I felt a very strong pain sensation. And I thought, something's bit me inside the sleeve of this shirt. And I jerked my arm out and I saw that my thumb was back here. It just was back here. So I had dislocated it either here or here. I didn't take the time to really look at it. I just knew it was back here, and my instinct was to grab it and pull it, which I did. And that was in February. I was getting ready to go. I didn't want to go see a doctor. I was like, please just let me go on this trip. Anyway, by August, I had a shot in it when I got back from Florida in about April. By August, it was just not wanting to do anything. So my lovely lady surgeon, she's so nice, said, okay, we gotta do one of two things. You can keep getting shots, but that's not really gonna fix your problem, or we can go in there and release, I think it's called Dequave, I don't know. I always think of Cuervo. That's not it, but might be needed if you go through the surgery. The surgery was like lickety-split, no problems. The funny thing, when I was coming up out of anesthesia, as you do, you know, you start talking, and they only put you in light sedation for that. I started asking these young people that had been working on me, and I had met, you know, that morning. They come in and talk to you. I asked them if they were going to the prom. And who was going to the prom and with who. And I'm 54 years old. It's been a while since I've been to a prom. But I just remember waking up and they were giggling. And I said, what's so funny? When I got my wits about me a little bit. And they said, oh, just laughing at you. I said, what did I say? Because I talk as I'm coming up out of surgery. I've had several surgeries. They said, oh, you were asking us if we were going to prom. If we had our prom outfits picked out. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, I'm not going to ink this entirely, but just to show you how pretty that spun sugar is. Okay, so yes, back to I am healing great. It was the easiest surgery, and I shouldn't have waited so long to get my thumb back. Okay, so what we have here is you can turn this into a card. You can turn this into a card, this into a card, or you can put down as pockets, whatever you want to do. So there's a blank one there. Here's a space here. And you want to use some kind of a background on your tags, because when you put a tag in here, when you flip it over, you're going to see white, and that maybe is fine with you, but I like a little something. So there you go. You've got this tag, can go in there. He looks like he goes with the toys. And then we have several that need some eyelets. We have this little mouse. Is that the Mouse King? Yep. He's already there. So we'll put him right here. And we can put a charm on here. I'm just going to put this here where I remember, I know I got a little bell. I'm going to put a little bell on there. Little tiny bell. Okay, so that's that. And then you have these here. And just, if you print the background pages on the tags, just randomly, they turn out. They all turn out. That looks good there. So this one, and this one, and this one. Oh, she's cute. See, if you wanted this tag to go in this pocket, it's going to stick out the top. That's not what you want. You want these little tags in there. And you don't want the pocket wings up so high where they stick out. But other folio constructions have sort of a blankish area that you don't mind covering up. And it's meant to be covered up. You can tell in the design. Okay, so let's do these pockets. And okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna get my tool back out. This one doesn't have a hole, so we will move this all the way to the 3/16. Ooh. Poke a hole. Move this back. Let's see, I got out a few of the eyelets. Let's see, I know this, there's a church here somewhere. Okay. I want the church to have this really pretty dark purple, but it almost looks like a brown. So remember, I'm going to kind of hold pressure upward so that my male piece that's going down, don't know how else to describe it, is going to fit inside this hole and not going to slip around, and that's going to give me kind of the perfect placement. Then I can let go. All right. Easy peasy. Let's try it. Let's see. This is a pretty one. What would green look good on? I think the green would look good on here. Oh, that's another one. Doesn't have the... And I like how the white hole is a lot smaller, so you don't have to get it exactly. It's more of a placeholder. And you have no white edges, which would be covered up anyway. But if you were only going to run some sari silk or ribbon through there, you still wouldn't want any white edges showing. Okay, so this looks like a little bit of a mint green. I just got them off of Amazon, but they are We Are Memory Keepers brand. There we go. And I don't have any blue. I need to get some blue. That looks good. Where are you? Okay, so this is a good example. I have poked my hole a little too far down so that as I'm trying to stick it in, the edge of the card won't go past here. So I have to push this down a little until I can get that male piece just down a little past the carriage that holds the puncture portion. Okay, that looks good. And we have some pieces of sari silk to put through there. All right. I have a green one. Let's get a green one for that one. Ooh, it popped out. It popped out again. Once you figure this out, it's a really cool tool. I don't have the little handheld one. I knew that I would be needing something I could really use my arms with. Okay, so that green is not really the right kind of green. So maybe a purple. Oh, here's a dark purple. Maybe a green. My good friend Rory does a Coffee and Crafts with Rory YouTube channel, and she said something on a video the other day that she had heard from another maker. I think, what was it? Audition? Audition your placement, or just the different elements. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to finish this off. But this is the gist of the folio. Got these little pieces of sari silk. Twist. Where would you? This would be good for a beige. How many of you struggle with your fine motor skills, as they call them? That is me. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, what would be good with the mint color? Yep, that elephant right there. Look at that. Perfect. That is just beautiful. So that's auditioning, I guess, is the new word for the day. Auditioning. And this is definitely thick. Okay. Some people go from the front. Some people go from the back. I just like how this looks going this way. If you like this folded over look, I just like this look. Okay, so that's got that tag. What have we got here? Another brown. This looks good. I wish I had a light blue for this little card, but I don't, so maybe that one should be the brown. Okay. I tried to vary. Oop. So this is a new kit on the TheDoddGroup. Check them out. You can tell that a lot of design work went into the construction of these folios, and even like with the allowances for the layer 3 panels, that's very, it seems like, well, why couldn't they just make it where they fit? Because everybody's cutting is different. They do a pretty good job with that center back panel matching up. But maybe they didn't want to take a risk on all the other panels. But printers are different, and like I said, cutting is different. Oh, so we'll get these done and put into the folio, and then we're going to do a sari silk closure. One more, bear with me. Hit the like and subscribe. My little granddaughter likes to make her own videos just on her iPad. She doesn't upload them or anything, but I will hear her say, like and subscribe. It's funny how that vernacular has entered into a 7-year-old's speak, but it has. Okay, so we've got all of our tags here. All right, so we're going to make a closure, and I have some larger. So I have a larger grommet that I think will look good for the closure, and it's only going to cover this curtain area, which I think was a good idea for placement. You're not covering up anything here. You can kind of put it on the curtains there. These are called wide eyelets by We Are Memory Keepers. And here's a storage tip. This is just a pimento cheese bowl, but cut the parts out and keep them with your eyelets. You'll have the size. Do we want something that exactly matches almost, or a contrasting? This matches her hair almost. What kind of ribbon do we have? Okay, so we have this color ribbon. I like that. I really like that. Okay, audition completed. You've been selected for the role of Gromit. Eyelet. Okay, here we go. And same size. So we're going to go back here, make a little dot. There's my pencil. And it's almost in the center. Where would the center be? If I were the center, where would I be? Okay, so that's 6 3/4. So half of 6 is 3, right? And then half of 3/4 is, I don't know, right there? Maybe? Seems like it's in the center. I'm not happy with where it's at. So let's just make it like right here. And because it's wide, you want to go in far enough so that it's not overlapping or there's no risk of tear. And I think I might have to go in just a little bit from where my dot is. Hold it together. We have it on our setting. Here we go. In commitment. Let's put this eyelet in. All right, that poked in really well. Same settings. Just a little more oomph. All right. Easy peasy. So now you have this. So you have all kinds of extra on the back from the cards where you've printed on two-sided. Once you cut out the card, save all the back pieces for other projects. This would make a nice belly band right here. We could do that. That would kind of cover this up a little bit. Or we could just leave it. I think all this ribbon will kind of hide it. So I'm going to take a huge piece, probably too much, more than is necessary. Put it right in here. Also do a slip knot, right? Yes, way more than necessary. But if you let it stay kind of plumey, that pretty much covers your eyelet. And then you've got your cards for in here. Oh. Let's put a little bell on here. You can do a charm, beads, whatever. Alright. How cute. Okay. Cover the bells. You don't want those everywhere. You have your pocket there. Thing to note on this kit, these wings, you could fold them either way. If you want the little girl on the top, that's awful cute. There you go. Plenty of cards. Plenty of cards. Okay. Whoops, we got to do a little silk on him. And then just tie this around one way, this around this way, and there you go. Make a bow, and you have your closure. Oh, anyway, my hands are done, but you get the idea. Thanks for watching, and I'll put some links in the description for you. Thanks. Bye-bye.